So you probably want to get into real estate investing and you're looking for the perfect place to start, but what you need is a resource that breaks things down and makes them as simple as possible to understand. I got you. In this video, I'm gonna break down what the cash out refinance or BRRRR strategy is, and I'm gonna do it in such a way that no matter what your level of experience is coming into this video, by the end of this video, you will have a basic understanding of what this incredibly lucrative real estate strategy is. Check it out. So the cash out refinance or BRRRR strategy, by the way, they're almost the exact same thing, can seem complicated, but here's the essence of what it is. The first thing you do obviously is buy a property that needs work. Then you rehab the property or you fix the property back up. Once the property is fixed up, you rent this property out to tenants. And then once the tenants are in the property, you go back to a bank and refinance your property, thus taking 100% of the money that you put into the property and putting it back into your bank account so that you can repeat this process again. This is what the BRRRR acronym stands for: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat the process. This is how investors with no money are getting rich in real estate. They're taking the same chunk of money and recycling that money over and over again to buy, in some cases, literally hundreds of properties. Now let's break this down using an example. Just keep in mind that I'm gonna leave out some pretty crucial details, but this is gonna give you a very basic understanding of how this strategy works. So let's say I buy a property for $30,000, and let's say that property needs $20,000 of work to fix it up. At this point, you have a total of $50,000 that you have locked up in this property. Now here's where things get good. Because you spent $20,000 to fix that property up, the value of that property went from $30,000, what you originally bought it for, all the way up to $75,000 now that it's all fixed up. This $75,000 number is referred to as your ARV, or your after rehab value. So you spent $50,000 and now you have a $75,000 asset. Now, how do you recycle all your money back out? So what you do is you take your $75,000 house, you go to the bank and you ask them for a loan to essentially buy the property again using this loan. This portion is called the refinance portion. Also, really quickly, I'm documenting my story day by day to becoming a full-time real estate investor using this very strategy. If that's interesting to you at all, check out this playlist. Now, here's a key point you wanna lock in for. Most banks will only give you a loan up to 75% of the total value of your house. So in this case, 75,000 times 75% gives you about $56,000. So the bank is willing to loan you $56,000 to go buy this property. So let's go back to the beginning, and here's where all the pieces come together. Now that you've been approved to buy this house for $56,000, what you do is you take the bank's money, you rebuy this property back essentially from yourself, and then the money that you had invested in the property goes back into your bank account. All you're doing at this point is simply replacing the cash that you had in your property with a loan from the bank so that you can have that money back and repeat this process again. So again, you bought a house, you fixed up that house, you rented that house out to tenants, then you refinance the property to get all of your capital back. Now you can go do this literally as often as properties come to you. You can continue to implement this process. Let me try and read your mind for a second. Where are you gonna get the money to buy your first property now that you know how this works? I got you. Check out this video. I'm gonna break down my favorite strategy to date to get into my first property and start this process. We'll talk to you on the next video.